Okay?
Yeah. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Wednesday News Show. Today we have a ton of climbing news, as usual. But first and foremost, how are you doing, Hugo?
I'm good. How are you?
Good?
Yeah?
Good? Yes?
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe
What's our first bit of news?
First bit of news is Dave Graham climbing in Val Bavona. Planet Mountain reports that Dave Graham has made the first ascent of Eucluse in Val Bavona, Switzerland, calling it one of the hardest climbs I've climbed to date. The 40-year-old American legendary climber has given the block, which has 19 hand movements, 21 foot moves, and 4 knee bars, a grade of 80 plus V16. Graham originally tried the route back in 2005 and said this on his Instagram: "It's one of the most technical climbs I have ever encountered and challenged my ability to toe hook, heel hook, knee bar, and footwork unlike any other boulder that I've tried in my life." The top out adds a crimpy and dangerous no-fall zone to the equation, completing the line with a real mental factor. So I'm looking forward to seeing this one coming out on Mellow. I reckon it must be.
A mellow drop from his winter in Ticino.
Yeah, possibly. But this one, like, it sounds crazy. And the whole, like, the dangerous no-fall zone to the equation, the top out bit.
Oh, doesn't
Yeah.
he have like a ton of crash pads and it doesn't matter?
I mean, it's a no-fall zone.
A bit spicy, but it's
Spicy.
spicy.
Yes.
But safe enough with enough crash pads? Not really. But no, it was interesting, the whole toe hook, heel hook, like every possible
All the
hook
hooks.
foot
All the hooks.
movement. Yes, all the hooks. Very complicated boulder. Anyway, from bouldering, I'm moving on to some UK trad climbing. James Pearson was in the UK for his sister's wedding and took the opportunity to go to the Lake District to try out Lexicon, an E11 7A, put up by Neil Gresham in September of 2021. This route went down pretty quickly, and well, the sand footage is out there for us all to enjoy, but it was wet when he then tried it again, when he sent it. So he's like avoiding the wet patches, which I feel it's the most like British thing ever. Like, it's still a super hard route, but like, the conditions don't matter.
Yeah. No, exactly. Have you seen the video of Dave McLeod doing it?
I saw yes, I did see the video, and he had the fall of Steve in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying.
Yes.
It's a big
I
fall.
was like, oh, whew.
What's interesting is, like, when he's doing it, you can tell how, like, he's got that in his head as he, like, gets to the top of the route, and he's probably got the leg shake going on, and, like...
He had to see Steve take the fall.
Yeah.
And he didn't really, but he knew it was safe, thanks to Steve actually taking that fall.
I know, but he didn't want to do it. Like, the commentaries he was climbing, it was like, my irrational body was saying, get down, get down, get down. But
Yeah.
my irrational point was saying, no, it's fine, you can do this, get up. Which is interesting. I think his YouTube channel is one of my favorite.
Excellent.
Is amazing.
It's so honest. It's
Yeah.
so pure in a way. And
Yeah.
like, it's really enjoyable, yeah.
He's good. He's good. Right, next up, we have got a report of a big wall being climbed in Alaska. Around 2 weeks after we reported of a new route in Chit being put up by a team led by Graham Zimmerman, Planet Mountain reports of a new multi-pitch being established in the same range. British alpinists Mark Thomas and Mike Turner have just returned after 12 days of climbing, where they established a new route on the east face of Chit. Mike Turner had originally tried this route back in 2000, but there was too much loose rock. But this year, upon returning, they saw that the loose rock had fallen to the valley floor, leaving the big wall in a much better state to climb. Over 12 consecutive and long days, the pair climbed the route, naming it Thunderstruck. Consisting of 33 pitches, it was protected by nuts, cams, and beaks, with some bolts being added to back up belay anchors. The pair graded the route V1 A3 plus A4 6C. If anyone can explain that grading system to me, that'd be brilliant. I have no idea about Alaskan big wall grading systems.
That's so confusing. It's so many things like
6?
mixed.
Is it water ice 6? Maybe it's water ice 6. Water ice 6, A3 plus A4. I'm not...
Well, A3 is aid.
A3,
aid-
no, they did. They climbed a
Isn't
bit for aid and French free, they said. They climbed it with aid. So I guess that means the French was 6C, the aid was A3 plus A4, and the water ice was 6.
Do you know actually how it works with aid climbing? Like, is it aid climbing until somebody frees it and then they give it a grade, or that's an aid pitch and that's it?
That's an aid pitch and that's it, I think. Like, I guess it's just impossible to climb?
Oh.
Or would it have been like maybe like a 9B?
Maybe.
I've said this before on the show. Have you ever seen like aid climbing, like just like a video of aid climbing?
I think so. With with like sky hooks, they pull up and they have the ladders and stuff.
But it just like it almost looks scarier than climbing in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because you're like relying on this stuff and you're like putting sky hooks in, and I don't know, it just seems like super hairy. Like I'll try and find the clip that I found, and it's just like scares the living bejesus at me.
I think it's fun just because of the more gear you have.
But that makes it more complicated and more faffy, and like you just got all this stuff that you have to like get. Like I think the video is the guy trying to get him set his foot into like one of those ladders, and no.
But now ding ding ding. I like the ding 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 of gear.
Ding ding ding. I knew it.
Let's move on to the
Ding,
9A
ding, ding.
roundup. As reported on 8A.nu, Joe Kinder has done the first ascent of Resisting Arrest, a 9A. Then the Ascent train started, with young gun Cameron Horst repeating the line just 10 minutes later. Andy Reether bolted the line in 2010 and Joe took over it in 2019. And a month ago, he started working it and expected it to be a long-term project and possibly a 9A+. The next 9A is in France, where Jules Marchaland climbed Kinematrix in Gorge du Loup. He did his first 9A just 1 month ago, and now this one is his third. He previously climbed 8C+ when he was just 16, but since then he kinda lost motivation, and in 2021 started again sending 8Cs and put some serious time into training.
Jules Marshland, another 9A.
Another 9A in a month. That's super impressive.
This guy's a new kid on the block.
Props.
So yeah, congrats to Jules. Next up, is it Cameron Horst?
Yes. Another 9A.
Another 9A. So he's on the solid road back.
Yes.
Because he used to be a young gun. Now he's just a young gun.
Are you annoyed I wrote young gun?
He used to be a double young gun.
Okay.
He started when he was like 12 or something. I remember him sending some pretty hard routes when he was about 12. But then he went and became a quarterback.
But
played
they're all
some football.
2000s, so they're all forever gonna be young. Because it's like, this century. We're from the past century.
That is true. We are ancient. Speaking of young guns, literally no link at all whatsoever, but we've got news from Everest. The BBC have reported that the Nepalese government are considering plans to move Everest Basecamp from Khumbu Glacier due to global warming. Dangerous cracks and crevices are starting to appear throughout Basecamp and on the glacier, and the Nepalese government are considering a site 400 metres further down the mountain and off the glacier. During popular periods, up to 1,500 people can be at Basecamp at one time, and their activity along with global warming is starting to have its effect on the retreating glacier. So there you go, that kind of starts off a bit of a theme of global warming in today's show.
Unfortunately, yes, because I have more news of wildfires in Spain. As reported on BBC, firefighters have been battling wildfires in many parts of Spain as the country faces its warmest early summer in decades. The wildfire between Peramola and Oliana burnt 77 hectares of land, and the popular climbing spot of Oliana is better known for hard climbing routes like La Dura Dura and Papichulo. The pictures that have been taken after the fire was extinguished show all the trees around and above the crag burnt to the ground. The fires looks like they engulfed all in and around the crag of Oliana. Obviously, the crag and the roots aren't the problem.
Yeah.
There's so much more to it. But yeah, nobody still has gone and seen the roots or anything like that to see if there was any damage at all. But maybe like the Dura Dura now is a nicey. But anyway, let's move on to the 9B counter. No 9Bs.
No 9Bs.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. possibly in, E11, if, the counter was still there.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 points to James and 2 points to Dave. Shop stuff.
Shop stuff, yes. So this week in the shop, we've got a restock of all Scarpa, La Sportiva, and Tenaya. So all Teresa's favourite shoes.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Particularly
Quality.
What do you recommend this week?
This week I recommend the Tenaya Wasi Low Volume.
Which you've tried in?
I've tried on one route once, and then I put them back in the box. So they look brand new. Don't worry about it.
Straight out of the box, they were good?
Straight out of the box, they were amazing.
Nice.
Super comfortable. And I couldn't recommend them enough. They're also worn by like Alex Megas and Chris Sharma.
They were the LVs.
No,
They've got little
maybe.
dainty feet, or just
They
Tenaya?
got big feet. Tenaya in general.
Tenaya in general. Okay, yeah, no, fair play.
Quality.
Right, next up, we've got discussion. Little discussion, or do you want to do media first?
Let's get the media done. Let's get the admin done.
Let's get it out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way.
What is it?
This week on Climbing Daily, we've got a episode behind the scenes with Magnus Midbow.
Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since, it's been so long, yeah. These are very dangerous, right?
Yeah, well, I'm Dutch and we just call them translated like meat hooks, practically, because you don't want to injure yourself.
Yeah, so on the wood wall you control the point.
I just want to prove the spike. We have the hole in the leg.
There you go, Magnus Midbow. What a legend. Can
See?
do anything, can he?
Yes, he's Magnus.
Have you seen his recent film out with Alex Honnold soloing?
I haven't.
I haven't watched it, but I did watch the alternative free solo, which is him in the Verdun Gorge. There's another video that he did about 6 years ago. It's like a 40 second clip, but it's pretty incredible.
And he's free soloing in the Verdun.
Yeah.
Is it like a super high deep water solo?
No, it's like a super high climb.
Okay.
It's terrifying.
Speaking about free soloing, yeah, Alex Honnold did a spot with Mark Zuckerberg.
No.
Apparently so, yeah.
What did he do?
I don't know, like a clip, like a promotional thing.
No way. Have you seen it?
No, I've heard about it.
Okay, if anyone's seen it, let us know in the comments.
Insert.
Yeah. Insert, yeah. Hopefully Flo has done his job.
Everything I do is the attitude of an award winner because I've won an award.
Discussion point.
Let's discuss about how climbing is evolving. Let's just have a check-in.
Check-in.
right?
Where is it? Where is
Where
climbing?
is it at? Because James mentioned,
James Pearson.
James Pearson.
Yeah.
In his Instagram post mentioned these 3 styles, like head pointing, flashing, and
Was this in his post that he did about Lexicon?
about Lexicon,
Okay.
yes. So he was hinting towards, maybe expanding and just having more new styles, accepted styles, I guess, on how to climb certain things. And I feel we've had that in sport climbing. Bouldering has evolved into, 9As and all of that. But yeah, in trad climbing, it's quite a touchy subject, right?
Yeah.
Very niche. So it's like, how can trad climbing evolve in different styles?
Sure. I guess those styles have been in place for a good 20, 30 years, right?
I suppose so. Decades.
We are not the trad experts, as you could probably tell.
Matt is missing, basically.
For all the people that don't know, I'm going to ask the stupid questions so that nobody else has to. Head pointing, Teresa. What is head
Right.
pointing?
It's basically red pointing, because you try out a route, right? You try out a trad route on top rope or whatever means out there, and then you go for a head point.
Yeah.
And a head point is with placing gear.
Head point, you place the
Correct.
gear on a top rope.
I'm sure. No, like on lead.
Head point, you. What?
Right?
So
That's
what?
head
So you
point.
work it on top rope and then you lead it on gear. Okay, fine. Okay, and then you place the gear.
Yes.
What's pink point when you don't
When you don't place? Yes, when it's pre-placed. Which again, I like it.
Yeah.
It's a nice concept. It's a nice, safe concept.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit more like sport climbing.
Yes.
And then how has sport climbing evolved over the last 4 or 5 years?
What have you noticed in sport climbing?
Good question. Well, like the one thing that like jumps out is the 9C by Adam Ondra, which is silence, which isn't in the Czech Republic. It's in Norway, Flatanger. I
See?
know, all right? Reference to a previous episode. Yeah, so that one's got like a jam, isn't it?
It can be jammed.
Can be jammed.
Yeah.
So wide boys showed that it can be jammed. So that's kind of bringing crack climbing into sport climbing a little bit more, where it's maybe traditionally been more of like a trad climbing thing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of the one thing that jumps out. I guess for me, the one thing from the 70s and 80s, that when you see like really vertical cliffs and like really small holes, it's now kind of there's like more like kind of overhanging like caves and all that kind of climbing type thing, which is kind of how it's developed. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's also like a different angle change, I guess.
Yeah, got steeper and steeper and steeper.
Steeper and steeper.
But where's it going to go from now on? That is the question. I'm kind of interested in the sport climbing aspect. Because obviously I think like the biggest evolution has been indoor climbing, right?
Definitely.
That's exploded in the last kind of 10 years. And
Yeah.
we've seen the competition scene explode. Paywalls being put up. And big kind of parkour like moves kind of happening. And that being mimicked a little bit in gyms and stuff like that. When we've seen you guys go and climb in your in the gym hits on a Monday, you see a little bit of parkour.
Yeah, but it's almost like all these different facets of the sport are like blending more together now than
True.
ever before.
I think my personal opinion is that speed climbing will become the one true version of climbing
Ooh.
in the next 20 years. So everything will be done by a clock. So, there'll be like a big clock up beside silence in the Flatanger thing. And they'll be like, right, you got 30 seconds to climb silence. If you don't do it, that's it, you go away. That's it, that's all you got.
The future of climbing speed. Anything
speed.
is speed. So like a boulder will be like a speed boulder.
Yeah, if you don't do it in 10 seconds, you don't get another go.
Are you saying this because you're a big fan of Beatrice Colli?
I'm just a big fan of speed climbing in general. I'm not going to hone in on any specific people, but
Okay. She's one of our athletes.
she's one of our athletes and she's pretty great. But yeah, there you go. Speed climbing, the future.
I'm glad we settled this debate. That we just concluded that.
I mean, that was me. That was my opinion. Like, that doesn't mean it's settled.
I like
of
it. It
course.
makes sense. It's
Yeah.
like how far can the physical barrier go with
Yeah.
like the whole grades and stuff? Just do them
We
quickly.
start Usain Bolting some routes.
It's about Killian journeying, right?
Yeah,
'Cause he does
exactly.
it in the mountains.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. Okay, right, discussion done.
Let's see.
Comment of the week.
What's yours?
Comment of the week. My comment of the week is from Felipe Parates. Felipe's kind of been in touch with us a few times before. He's from South America. He's very frustrated by the current situation with the IFSC. And he says, like always, couldn't watch because of a paywall. And don't even say just pay for it. I'm from South America. There is simply no way to watch and we are region blocked. I hate IFSC now. They are literally hindering the development of the sport. So first up, I'd say, have you tried a VPN? Also, message Teresa on Climbing Daily. She'll tell you how to do it. She's apparently an expert. She's been watching from some pretty dodgy places.
I'm a fan, okay? There's Matt speaking the whole time. Like, it's quite pleasant. It's a good show every time. So yes, I am quite a fan, and
You know how to get through that stuff.
I want to watch it everywhere in any place.
But no, it's quite an interesting discussion about, I think there's a lot of love for what the IFSC are doing, and I think they're doing a very good job in certain aspects, but there's also a lot of like reactions like this one where they're like, I want to watch it. It used to be free. Why is it not free anymore?
Yeah.
I'm very frustrated. You got to say that in some places you can still watch on YouTube, right? Depending
Yes.
on where you are watching it from. But also, it is kind of the inevitable kind of professionalism of the sport that most other sports that you watch on TV is somehow kind of paid for, right? It's somehow some way of paying for them. There's not many live sport events which are on YouTube on a regular basis.
And you can play back, like the Tour de France, like that's not on YouTube.
And they've got to make, exactly. They've got to make money somehow. So this is some way they're making money. So in a way they are hindering it, but in the way they're developing it as well, in the way that they know how. So I think that is an important discussion to kind of have ongoing. Thanks for your comment, Felipe, and thanks for getting in touch with us on Instagram as well. We appreciate it and we understand your frustration.
Yes, and continuing on to this actually, I do post on Facebook and Instagram where to watch the competitions before the weekend. So just follow our pages. And what else? This week it's actually Innsbruck. So if you don't know how to watch it, just Google it or check out the Epic TV Facebook page. There's a link on how to watch it and all that stuff there.
Or message Teresa on Instagram.
Yes. Those are the messages.
Through Climbing Daily. We'll see it.
Daily.
That's how you
do
do
it.
Epic
TV. But my comment, right?
Your comment.
Now I can't find it.
Ah.
Anyway, it was a comment from Chris something. And they basically said that we should see Janja Gambret doing pull-ups with all her gold medals.
True. Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think they weigh enough.
21 kgs.
Around the neck, it's quite uncomfortable. It's more like,
she could do it.
She could definitely do it. I'm saying they're not heavy enough, but maybe not around the neck.
She needs to win some more stuff. When's she coming back? You don't know.
Innsbruck, apparently.
Oh, really?
I saw it on the Plastic Weekly podcast, so I heard it.
Shout out to the Plastic Weekly boys.
And apparently she did sign up for Innsbruck.
Okay, cool. Nice one. Excited.
Exciting.
I'm heading to Innsbruck tomorrow.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for taking me as well.
No problem. Sorry, you can't come this time. Can you afford a train ticket?
Epic can.
Bye.